It's Rob Rush. It's 94.3 The Shark, and we're online, of course, at 94.3theshark.com. And if you grew up in the 80s listening to hard rock and heavy metal, the name Stryper certainly would ring true for you. Breakout album came out 85 when they released Soldiers Under Command. Then they had To Hell with the Devil. I remember going to a record store and buying on vinyl, which I probably should see if I still have, being I just got a new record player again, their album that came out in 1988, In God We Trust. And here we are. 40 years later, they're going to be coming to the Patchogue Theater, and that is going to be on Thursday, November 7th. I got Michael Sweet of Stryper on the line. What's going on, Michael? And thanks for taking the time.
Hey, what's going on? How are you guys doing? Great to talk to you.
It's great to talk to you. We are doing good. You know, Long Island, I'm sure you know, has always been a staple for loving hard rock and heavy metal. And, you know, you've been coming here for years. 15th album just came out last month, When We Were Kings. Now, I know, like, you know, when you come out in, you release the Yellow and Black Attack in 84, and then you have success with Soldiers Under Command. You really hit it big with From Hell with the Devil, and then you think to yourself, maybe, hopefully I could get 10 years out of this, and then the grunge scene came in, and then it changed everything. And then all of a sudden, in the early 2000s, this music came back and it's stayed and it's never left. I mean, did you think it was going to be this way 40 years ago?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I mean, I guess it's all how you look at it. If you recall back in the 90s, there were some hair bands that were thriving. You know, our bass player was in one of them, the band Firehouse.
Yes.
They broke in the 90s after Nirvana. So it's kind of interesting. I think it just comes down to good music is good music. It doesn't matter what time frame it comes out. If it's a good song, it's going to move people and touch people. It just so happened for us, for Stryper, we didn't break up or get driven out by Nirvana. It was something that was just happening within our band.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about leaving, starting in 91, and I left in 92. And, you know, that was going to happen regardless of Nirvana. So, you know, we went our separate ways from 92 to 2002, roughly. Got back in 03 and did a tour, and the rest is history, as they say. We're still out there touring. We are celebrating 40 years from the time we formed as a band and released our first album. And here we are, and it's hard to believe. I mean, not many bands get to, you know, celebrate 40 years, much less with three out of the four original members. It's pretty crazy.
It is crazy, and I think it's a testament to how you said good music is good music, and it just seems that, you know, Stryper seems to keep on getting better and better. I mean, if you look at the success of When We Were Kings, but it came out just a month ago. I think it was number 2 Billboard's Christian Albums chart, number 16 on their top album sales charts, and number 25 on the top hard rock albums charts. So it's not like people aren't taking notice. They are noticing, and they're noticing how great things are sounding. And I always said, you know, you I don't know what you do to your voice, but you sound great. And a lot of the people from that era, their voices have kind of downgraded tad, and you still sound like you did in 1985.
Well, man, that's very kind of you. I don't feel that I do, but I do believe that my voice has changed, but it was so high back in the 80s that it was easy for me to transition into 2024.
Yeah.
In other words, you know, I'm singing a little lower and it's a little grittier, a little deeper, but it works for me. And I'm able to pull off the songs and sing them live and kind of choose my battles. You know, I don't hit every high note, but I hit some of them.
Sure.
And, you know, I'm still able to pull it off and do it justice. If the day comes that I can't, I won't. I'm not going to be one of those guys that's out there struggling, sounding terrible, you know, weighing 100 pounds over my weight limit, trying to, you know, desperately continue on. I will not be that guy. No way.
No, and I don't think that you would allow yourself to. And I mean, the band has just continually not only sounded great, but looked great as well as throughout the years. And I know that Oz has been going through some health issues. How's he doing?
Yeah, I mean, I had thyroid cancer and went through surgery, and then Oz has had brain surgery twice.
Yeah.
So we've both been going through health issues.
Oh, I didn't know about I don't know about your thyroid cancer. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, okay, I'm doing good. I mean, I had surgery, removal of my thyroid and cancer in December.
Okay, okay.
and they recorded the album 2 months to the day after
Wow.
that. And it could have gone bad. I mean, there's always a high risk with that surgery of vocal nerve damage. And I went to a specialist, the best, and there was no damage, so I'm good. Oz is good too. I mean, if you hung out with us, it's almost as if nothing ever happened. So
Wow.
everything's great.
That's great. And again, Stryper going to be coming to the Patchogue Theater on November 7th to celebrate their 40th anniversary. And you can actually get pre-show VIP experience available at patchoguetheater.org. A lot of people, like I mentioned in the beginning, Long Island's always been a favorite place for hard rock and metal bands. And it always seems that people go back when they mention the name Stryper or I mention Stryper. They always go back to the Lemoore shows in Brooklyn and all of these famous shows
Yep.
that you guys did there. What was the experience like for you playing in this area all these years?
Oh gosh. Well, the first time we played in this area in New York area was Lemoore's, and it was phenomenal. I mean, we were nervous as all get out. It felt so foreign to us, coming from California.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what to expect. We had no idea if anybody would show up, and it was a packed house. And they loved it, and the reaction was just completely mind blowing. And that was the case for the East Coast in general. I mean, we came to Boston, same thing. The Channel, we played the Channel, and just really cool memories of those days. And everyone accepted us in the East Coast specifically with arms wide open. No pun intended for the Creed song there, but yeah, it was really, really cool, man. And they've always accepted us and supported us and stood by us. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this area loves you, and you're going to be back here November 7th. And I just want to touch on something about the new album, When We Were Kings, which is out now. And I said, what is it like? Where's the fire? As the song "Fire Burning" on one of your old records, to still make records as good as you are, and what's the drive still after all these years? Because James Hetfield just said, that he doesn't want to be a legacy band, and neither do you, it seems.
Well, I'll tell you, I think you hit the nail on the head with the word fire. I think once you lose that fire and it goes out, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
And sadly, I think there's quite a few bands that have been around for a while that are in big trouble because they don't have the passion anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they talk about it. That's not coming from Michael Sweet. That's coming from the horse's mouth. I mean, they say it in interviews. They say they don't have the desire to make music anymore. It's not worth it. These are the things that I've read and heard. And I just think to myself, wow, that's really sad. That's really, really sad to have lost the passion to create music. What you started doing at a young age and, what built your dreams. And you've been able to do your entire life, and it's not a job; it's a passion. And you actually say that you don't have that passion anymore is heartbreaking. We still have it, and that's why we still make records. That's why we still tour, and we do so every year. I mean, we release an album every 2 years, and we'll continue doing so. And the day that passion dies. I hope that never comes, but if it does, we won't make music anymore because at that point we'll just be spinning our wheels and going through the motions, and it will become stale and lifeless, and we don't ever want that to happen.
And you can tell, I mean, because since 2003, you guys got back together. You've had over the past 21 years 10 records. I mean, 2005 you released Reborn, and last month you released When We Were Kings, and there's no signs of stopping. And out of all of those albums, when you come to the Patchogue Theater and you are celebrating your 40th anniversary, what's the set list like? Is it hard to pick? Do you put different songs in different shows, or you just have fun and play whatever you want?
You know what? We do have a very structured set. We don't just go and jam and play what we want. That would be amazing, and we could do that, but we don't do that. The reason why is we have a very high-end light show. We have video walls and panels in between the amps, and a backdrop, a video wall backdrop, and we have all this content that is going locked into each song, and we actually have SMPTE, so all this stuff is just locked in, and that's why we got to kind of stick to the set. It's not easy to switch it up. We're doing a classic set of old songs from 84 to 91, and then we do an intermission, and then we do a modern era set from 05, Reborn, all the way to now.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool, and it's been working great. People seem to love it. It gives everyone a breather in between the sets. They can go grab a drink or go to the bathroom or buy merch. They come back, and we come out in different outfits with different guitars, almost like a different band is pretty much how it almost looks and feels.
Wow, that's cool. That's really cool. Innovative, too.
Yeah, it's very different, and there's no opener. No other band with us, just us, and it's about a 2.5-ish hour set.
And that's going to be, that's great. Show set. It is what it is. You're going to be coming to Long Island. That's what people care about. November 7th at the Patchogue Theater. Stryper celebrating their 40th anniversary, and you do not want to miss them. They sound great. I've seen them. I've seen you guys numerous times over the years here on Long Island. And, When We Were Kings is out now, and you're going to be doing a shift or two for us for hosting the Hair Scare in November and the week of the show. So I appreciate that. And thank you so much for joining us, Mike.
Of course. Thank you, man. And one of my favorite guitar players of all time, I put him in my top 5 list, is in Long Island. And do you have any guesses as to who that may be?
So I'm going to shot in the dark. It could either be, would it be Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, or, oh boy, why am I missing the third one? Joe Satriani, Steve Vai. Or,
well, I'll give you another hint. We toured with this band.
You toured with I don't know.
Vito Bratta.
Vito Bratta. Okay, yeah. So technically, Staten Island, I think, is where he's from. So that's why you had me for a loop. But do you hear from? Nobody ever hears from this guy. Do you hear from this guy at all anymore?
I do. He and I reach out to one another on occasion via email.
Okay.
I don't even know if he has a cell phone. I have no idea. But you know what? He's the nicest guy. Probably one of the nicest guys I've ever met in this business, and one of my favorite guitar players and people. And he took care of his, I believe, his father, and now he's taking care of his mother. And he's got his priorities right, and that's why we haven't heard from him. But man, I love him to death, and what a killer player.
Yeah, and he's a good Italian boy, so that's what that's how you're raised, and when you're in the boroughs. Like that.
He is a good Italian boy, and what a player, man. And I used to watch him every night when they toured with us, and the guy never missed a note, not one note. He was one of the most consistent players, and just a legendary player and person too. That's the thing. Not a lot of people know about him as a person, but he's a great, great person as well.
That kind of leads me to a question just popped into my mind. You're talking about your favorite guitarist, and out of all the years that you've been touring, if you can pinpoint to one person, it might be a little hard, this question, but who is the person that came up to you, that's in the entertainment field, that surprised you the most, that you would have thought would have come up to you to say, hey, I loved you guys as a kid, or you inspired me in some way, shape, or form?
Oh, gosh. It's been numerous people. Not just one. There's an infamous photo going around on the internet of me and King Diamond.
Oh,
Kim, and he and I had a nice conversation when we were playing overseas together, and it was just really interesting to know that he knew about me and I knew about him. And fans, John Five, who plays for Motley Crue now. He came to see Stryper when he was younger and caught a Stryper Bible.
Okay.
There's many people, man. And the list goes on, and those people you would never expect to be Stryper fans who are. And it always blows my mind. And it's always a little on the down low, I think, because maybe to some degree, subconsciously, people are a little fearful to say that they're Stryper fans. I don't know.
Well, I've
Um,
always been loud and proud that I'm a Stryper fan, and but that blows my mind. The whole King, that must be like a convergence of worlds. People to see that photo, King Diamond and Michael Sweet of Stryper.
well, look, I can't tell you how many times, at least 10, probably more, but at least 10 times that we've been playing and I see someone in the crowd that catches my eye, and whether it's their look or their spirit or something about them, and they're singing along to every song. And then after the show, I meet them and they're a Satanist.
All right, wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. That happens all the time.
Huh?
Like,
That's
we have a lot of fans that are Satanists. It kind of makes me scratch my head, but it shows you the power of music. It would be the same difference of a Christian listening to Slayer. I mean, it's music. They obviously don't take the words to heart, but we have a lot of fans out there who are atheists and Satanists and Muslims, and it's mind blowing.
they say music soothes the savage beast, and I guess Stryper soothes every kind of beast.
I mean, I think maybe what it is for people like that, obviously, it's not the lyric that draws them in, but maybe the guitar tone or the harmonies or something about our sound. And the really cool part about that is they're drawn in and they're listening to us. And maybe the lyrics will take root at some point, because the lyrics are everything to us. I mean, we want to inspire people lyrically and try to make the world a better place through our lyrics. And, so maybe that'll pay off with people like that, and someday they'll take it to heart.
Well, I got to say, God bless you and the guys in the band. 40 years strong and sounding great. And I urge you to go out and buy tickets before they sell out. PatchogueTheater.org for Stryper, November 7th. Also, a pre-show VIP experience is available for purchase, where you get to hang out with the guys in the band and get all this cool swag as well. So again, PatchogueTheater.org. And Michael Sweet of Stryper, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time, and we're looking forward to seeing you soon.